What's up, everyone? It is Chris from PickDogs.com. It is Saturday, March 4th, 2023. Don't adjust your sets. I decided to put on my big boy pants, host the morning show today. Mitch needed a day off, a well-deserved day off, but he's got some stuff going on, so I just told him I would fill in for him. So, you know, got a great card today. Tons of great handicappers on the card. Lots of big games on the board. I mean, we're starting early. We got Alabama, Texas A&M at noon. You got Duke, North Carolina later today. You got tons of conference college hoops action, conference tournaments going on. Decent sized NBA card, big NHL card. I know Mitch loves the fact that he's not here for that NHL card on the weekends, but again, there's still a couple of us that like talking hockey, so we're going to be able to do that as well. We might as well just get it started. Like I said, we're going to have people popping in and out. I can already tell you we got a handful of cappers. I think, including myself, we got 6 cappers at the very least today on for you guys. We're all going to be giving you a couple of picks. So without further ado, I'll kick it off. I'll bring in Al Ninos to start things off. Al, how's it going?
Going pretty good. How are you doing, Chris? Sorry, I was about to say
I know.
Mitch.
You know what? I have a feeling I'm going to get that a lot today, so I don't hold it against anybody. People are still going to be, they're going to be like, "Wait a minute, why are you hosting this? Where's the other guy?" But it's okay. I'm sort of at peace with it. But anyways, how are you doing? You excited for today's card?
Yeah, a lot of action in all sports, really, and honestly, could have had a ton of plays out there today. It's a bit hard to control myself, but at least it leaves us a couple to share, a couple pretty good ones, I think, to share with everyone on the show tonight. So, I mean, today, this morning.
100%.
So
So what's
from the drive-through?
yeah, exactly. So what's the first play you got for us today?
I'll be looking at the Heat. I like the spot for them. The only thing, the main thing, I guess I should say, that kept me off of going as a premium here is just the Heat's current form is just. We saw them struggle out the gate to start the season. Then they went on a hot run, and now they're back to being a little bit inconsistent. They've had some pretty disappointed losses coming into this one. The Hawks picking it up a little bit. Both teams will be playing their second game in 2 nights here. Well, the line move has me a little bit concerned here. Young was questionable yesterday. He ended up playing. The line move, I don't know if it's indicative of anything that's going to happen with potentially Young sitting this one out, but if he does, this would be a great spot for the Heat. But again, I like this spot even if Trae Young does play. Main angle here, of course, they are at home, the Heat. But no rest. I mentioned both teams playing their second game in 2 nights today. Miami's 5-4 straight up on no rest. The Hawks just 2-6 straight up on no rest. So not doing too well there on their back-to-backs. The Hawks and I think the Heat take advantage of that. And I really, really would love this spot if Trae Young does end up sitting it out for some reason.
Yeah, I will say, you're a braver man than I am taking the Heat at home. I mean, I think they're 8-21-1 against the spread at home this season. But I mean, personally, and I don't know what your thoughts are on this. I was looking at the under in this game, just because you look at, I mean, we're getting a total of 225.5 head to head between these two. The under has been the dominant trend. I mean, I think it's 20. Let me see here. I had the number here: 26-8 in the last 34 in Miami, and on a back to back, Heat games averaging around 219, Hawks game averaging around 222. But to your point, it looks here. I don't see Trae Young on the injury report. So I don't know if that helps you at all.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't necessarily think he's sitting this one out. Just think maybe on the back-to-back. We've seen crazier things in the NBA. No, I'm not seeing him questionable for this one either. But I was I just would love it if he does end up sitting that. But again, I have this game. I like the Heat with Young in the lineup here. I still think they're the better team, more talented roster from top to bottom when you consider Young in the lineup. So, again, as far as your under is concerned, yeah, both these teams trending in different directions as far as the totals go. I think that the under does play hand in hand with the Heat winning this game. So, plays more into their style of play, if you will. The only concern there is if Young does go nuts from deep, it'd be hard to take an under there. But again, that's the same concern you have with taking the Heat. So if he does go off, it'll be hard for the Heat to keep up with him as well. So I like the Heat and the under. If you're on the Hawks, maybe you won't like the under so much. But yeah, I do like the under to go with my Heat. Again, I'm on the side more than the total, but definitely don't mind that under.
Fair enough. And what's you have another play for us today?
Yeah, I was looking at big mismatch. The Pistons head to Cleveland here. I don't know. I just think this line is a bit too big. Obviously, the Cavs are the much better team here, much more talented team. But the Pistons, we've seen them put up some good fights, and well, they could potentially get blown out here. I think that I'm looking at them getting almost double digits in the first half. I think is almost too good to pass up on. So I'm on the Pistons +9 here, and would probably even look at them full game. Cavs are a good team, but I'm just not going to go laying 15 and a half points here with them. So I think this number is just a little bit too big.
Yeah, I'm glad that you wanted to talk about, because I really didn't have a horse in this race. I mean, could you? I mean, realistically, and you could see it both sides, like you said. I mean, you could see that the Pistons, maybe necessarily, the Cavs may be looking past them. I mean, this is still a hard thing to do, is lay 15 and a half points in an NBA game, even in today's NBA, when the Spurs. I mean, it seemed like the Spurs were getting blown out by 20 left and right. But would you feel good about laying, double digits against them on any given night? I don't know. I personally wouldn't, but I'm with you. I think this could at least be a bit of a slow game early on, and it could allow the Pistons to sort of sneak in the back door and maybe cover in the first half.
I mean, we saw what happened to the Celtics yesterday, so I mean, we've seen crazier things happen. Although Pistons, definitely top two, maybe teams. I mean, bottom two, sorry, teams in the league. But still, this is way too many points, I think, and I don't think the Cavs have what it takes to cover these numbers on a regular basis. And I'm not putting my money there, that's for sure.
Just had to twist the knife because we were talking about it before the show about how how we were talking.
I mean, these things. Yeah, you mentioned the Spurs doing it too. I mean, these things have been happening, and I'm not asking the Pistons to pull that upset here, but again, I wouldn't be shocked if they did. I mean, they're dealing with some injuries for sure, and which explains kind of this line a little bit. But even at full strength, they're the much weaker team, but still wouldn't lay these kinds of numbers with the Cavs.
Well, I mean, I
they're
think
a good team. Don't get me wrong, but
I think I don't know how you feel about this, but I think in my concern in today's NBA, when you see a line like this, you see a mismatch like this, are you ever concerned that maybe the Cavs will use this as a chance to rest Donovan Mitchell and try to get some longevity out of his legs, and rest a couple of guys to make sure that they're healthy for the stretch run?
Well, yeah, I mean, even if they don't rest them, I'm not sure if you meant like rest them at the start of the game or down the stretch, but if they go up big, there's definitely that I mean, they could even rest him pregame, but don't necessarily see that. But even if he does play, I mean, which I expect him to, if they go up 20 points, there's no need to leave these guys on the court. I mean, you're only asking for injuries at that point. So anytime that happens, you're leaving the back door wide open right there.
Yeah, I was talking more about the era of load management and just the way that the NBA teams like to handle things these days. But
that could definitely happen as well. I mean, they could definitely beat these Pistons without him in the lineup. So that could definitely happen as well. And in that spot, you definitely like all these points with the Pistons.
Yeah, for sure. But anyways, what do you have going on over at Pick Dogs Premium today?
Got a 3-pack best bet in NBA, NHL, college basketball. Got all those sold individually as well, and a 3-pack in the NHL. Just a couple extra plays for everyone on the long-term pass as well.
Awesome. Well, Al, thank you so much for coming on. Appreciate it. Appreciate you batting lead off for us, and we'll see you tomorrow. I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure if I'm hosting or if Mitch is going to be back, but either way, we'll see you tomorrow, I'm sure.
Either way, I'm sure it'll be a great show. You're doing great. Keep it up, Chris.
Thanks, Al. Appreciate it. It's Al Ninos, and I tell you, picked a couple of harder games on the board, and don't blame him, man. Those sometimes those sizable underdogs can pay off, like the Detroit Pistons. See everybody else in agreement. I don't know. We had a couple guys come in late. If either of you guys want to go first, just raise your hand. Let me know. All right. So we will add Jay Briggs here, and you can catch Jay every day with his jam session, both in recorded form and then a live update later in the day. We bring him in right now. Jay, what's going on?
What's going on, Chris, man? How you doing today?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Saturday in the middle of March, man. It's the greatest time to be alive, ready to make some money.
I tell you, I've tried to wrap my head around today's card. You and I were sort of talking about it before we started the show, just how big this card actually is. And
for sure,
it's just, I know we always said, during the COVID years that we would take anything just to have sports back. But I think there's sometimes where it feels like a little bit too much.
For sure.
Some of these games on the board, it's those games where if the tree fell in the forest, would anyone notice? If these teams didn't play, would anybody notice? So
exactly, huge card today, man. But a lot of value out there, man. Ready to smash it.
Yeah, definitely. And and I'm sure Jay can attest to this. Pick your battles. Not every
For
game
sure.
on the card has to be bet. But
for sure.
Anyways, you got a couple plays for us. So what's the first one you're leading off with today?
Yes, sir. We're gonna go to the first game today in the NBA. We got your Toronto team, the Raptors. They're on the road in Washington. And it's hard to trust your Raptors on the road, man. We just saw this matchup 2 days ago, and we saw the Wizards beat them, man. And I don't think much has changed. What I've noticed this season a lot of times in home and homes is that the team that did it in the first one typically does it again in the second one. And the Wizards, they're kind of getting healthier again. They got Kuzma, Porzingis, and Bill all in the lineup today. I'm leaning Wizards on the money line again. The 2 would be nice in your back pocket, but I mean, plus 110, I couldn't talk nobody off there in that one.
Yeah, I can't blame you. You actually took the words out of my mouth. That was a question I was going to ask you, is how you handicap sort of these weird home and home situations, but it's in like the same arena as some of the NBA started doing. I think as recently as last year. It used to have like the traditional home and home where you'd play one game, like for example, one game in Toronto, one game in Washington. Yeah. But now you're playing 2 games in the same venue. And yeah, like you said, Jay, there's just a lot of spots where if you're catching them on no rest, like a true back-to-back, or even with one day's worth of rest, it's sometimes just not enough time to really make the adjustments to expect a different result. And I don't know. I keep calling them my Raptors, but I don't even know if I want them at this point. I kind of want to disown them. I kind of want to put them up for adoption. I don't know.
Hey, it'd be like that sometimes. My Mavs have had me in that spot a few times this year, but we love them.
I'm gonna don't worry. I'm gonna talk to you about your Mavs before I let you go. But anyways, you got a second play for us. What do you got for your second play for today?
Yes, sir. We're gonna head. So we talked about the first one, the first game on the board. Now we're gonna head to the last game on the board. I'm gonna take the Kings, land the 5.5. I called the Minnesota Timberwolves the house of disappointment. I will say they've been playing better basketball, but the Kings, man, they came out of that All-Star break on fire. I thought maybe they were due for a little regression, but they're not. I mean, they've pretty much got that 3rd seed kind of locked up the way it's looking right now. Everybody right below them kind of has been taking some L's, and the Kings, like I said, have won 5 straight. I know they barely edged the Clippers last night, but I don't know if the Timberwolves have enough scoring to keep up with the Kings, man. We know the Kings are one of the best scoring teams in the NBA. They might be number 1, I think. I got to go back and look, but I like the Kings here. I'll lay the points with them on their home floor. Hard to trust the house of disappointment. I know they just got 2 nice wins on the road. With this being their 4th straight road game, man, I got to roll with the Kings laying the points in this one, Chris.
Yeah, I was with you on this one. I do like the Kings as well in this spot, and I don't know. I want to kind of get your thoughts on this, and I'm just winging it on you on this spot. But
no, you're good.
To me, it looks like, and this is how I felt about the Timberwolves all year long, is they made that move for Rudy Gobert in the offseason. And all of a sudden, everybody thought, well, the Timberwolves are going to be the team to beat. They got twin towers up front. They got Gobert and they got Cat. They had D'Angelo Russell at the time, but you got Anthony Edwards. Still got a solid team, but they've never looked cohesive. They've never had it's looked like they've never had chemistry, even up until now. And a lot of that has to do with, I think Cat's been out of the lineup since January. So you can't. Any chance that they've had it cohesion they would have built over the last couple of months just hasn't been there, and it just doesn't look like this Timberwolves team's comfortable playing with each other, and that's why they're your house of disappointment.
And I completely agree with you. To me, Chris, I was one who thinks that the Rudy Gobert trade could go down as possibly the worst trade of all time. That's how bad I think that trade was. Just what they gave up. They gave up way too much for a guy who I don't think moves the needle at all. He's a good defensive player, but when it comes down to it, Rudy Gobert, he's just not that guy. And especially they're going to see in the playoffs where he becomes unplayable in playoff situations. I liked the Timberwolves last season. I thought they were even better last season. I think the Timberwolves are at their best when Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards are in there, and Anthony Edwards has the lane to get to the basket. That's where he's at. He's more of a slasher, get to the rim type guy. With Rudy Gobert down there clogging up the lane, it's hard. With Karl Anthony Towns out there, you can drive and kick to Karl Anthony Towns, who can hit the three. So I'm not somebody that's really high on the Rudy Gobert addition to this Timberwolves. I think that it probably did more damage than good. And now with Karl Anthony Towns out and just Rudy Gobert down there clogging up the lane for Anthony Edwards, it's hard for them, like you said, to create cohesiveness and put it together in back-to-back nights.
Yeah, I mean, if nothing else, the Timberwolves sympathizers will at least say, well, at least we got one big man in the middle. And I'd say at least, yeah, that's true. At least you got one big man, but I don't know. I think once you get Karl Anthony Towns back, you got to do everything you can to get Rudy Gobert out of the lineup, but it's not going to happen. I mean,
it's not going to happen.
That's why we're the GMs when we're playing 2K. But other than that, we don't have much hope for anything else. Sure. Anyways, Jay, what do you got going on at Pick Dogs Premium today? Yes, sir. I have 2 plays in the NBA, and then I have 5 in college basketball. I love today's college basketball card, but I have my $15 NBA Jam Session play. I've hit 6 of my last 7 on that play. We go for 7 of 8 tonight. Nice winner with the Nuggets yesterday. Want to keep that momentum rolling forward as we go for 5 in a row on that play. So you can scoop it up, $15, Pick Dogs Premium. I got a plus money dog in the NBA, and like I said, my college hoops pack will be up right after this. All right, and like I said, I wasn't going to let you go without talking about this. What's going on with your Mavericks, dude? I mean, all season long, and this is what I'll say. All season long, there's been a spot, and I don't want to spoil this because I love going to this angle, but the Mavs is a favorite of, I believe it's between 5 and 7 points this year, are 2-15 against the spread. I don't know why the Mavericks just cannot cover as a decent sized favorite, and ever since Kyrie's come in, the talent's been there. But I don't know, the defense has lacked. And then when the defense shows up, the offense doesn't show up. I don't know. Help me understand it. Truth be told, I think, we're overvalued. That's just simple. I think we're a really good team, and I fall for it all the time. I bet my Mavs damn near every game. I'm a victim of it because I think we should win. We, like you said, we have the talent and all, but I don't know, man. There be stretches of the game where we play lazy basketball. And then, when you're laying points, especially like the Mavs be laying 6 to 7 points sometimes as a bigger favorite, when you go through spurts of playing some lazy defense and, shooting deep threes, you open up yourself to teams sneaking in that back door. They're pretty good as a home favorite, just straight up winning, but usually they're a big favorite. So Mavs is a cover team. The second worst cover team in the NBA, right in front of the Miami Heat, man. We have not been a profitable team. But come playoff time, I do think Luka Doncic, one of the biggest playoff mismatches, man. Watch out. We did go to the Western Conference Finals last year. We got Kyrie this year. We did it with Jalen Brunson and Luka. We got Kyrie and Luka this year, man. So come playoff time, might be a different story. I can't wait for it. No, I'm telling you, I got to ask you, what's then maybe – you don't think there is, and that's fine. Do you think that there's something missing from this team? So you got Kyrie, you got a secondary scorer for Luke to go along with Luka, but is there something else missing? Because I think a lot of people thought that Christian Wood was going to be that sidekick piece, and he hasn't been. Nah, he hasn't been. I do think so. I think maybe we need, I don't know. I think maybe a little longer to see how these two come together, and probably a good wing, like a solid wing, and then I think maybe we can make a run really next year, but we'll see, man. Luka, I think he's a top 3 player in this league, man, and we've seen a few guys just go on runs come playoffs, so we can see if he'll do it. We'll have to see. There's still lots of time. Still, I think about 20 plus games left to go in the NBA, so still plenty of time to get there. But anyways, Jay, thanks for popping off me. I think you got the jam session up already. You have a live jam session this afternoon. Yes, sir. Live jam session this afternoon. Not sure if I'm going to guess. I'm going to ask the guys here in a little bit. But, we got 6 games today. They're all late. So, same time, 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern. I'll come on right before the games. Awesome. We'll see you then. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yes, sir. See you later, Chris. Take it easy. That was Jay Briggs. It's love talking hoops, NBA, college with Jay. Got still a few more cappers to go. I don't know if anyone in the green room wants to go next. All right, let's see a hand show up. So we'll go with Wayne, bring in Wayne Scott. Definitely got a couple interesting games. He dropped a couple in the pre-show chat that hey, I'll take what value wherever I can find it. Wayne, what's going on?
What's going on, Chris? You know I got some awkward games and not everybody else is on, so I thought I'd bring those instead of those bigger games. I heard you mention earlier about the card, and yeah, it's a huge card, and some days just trying to sort through the what's good and what's bad can get a little overwhelming, but stick to what you know.
Well, I mean, that's why I was a little bit shocked when you didn't come into a game bashing High Point or Hampton. So, so anyways, lay it on us. What do you got first?
Yeah, I'm on the game between Elon and William and Mary. Elon was an underdog in this one, and there's a lot of juice coming in on them now. This is now a pick'em game. Yeah, these are not two of the top teams in the Colonial Athletic. They're more so on the bottom end, but Elon is 8-23, and William and Mary is 12-19. William and Mary is 11-5 at home, so I can see why they're a favorite. Elon's only 3-12 on the road. But in their last 10 games, Elon's turning around at 6-4 in their last 10. And they're 3-2 on the road, having a winning record on their last 5 in the road. William and Mary, they won their last 2, but they're 4-2 in their last 10. William and Mary, they beat Elon once, and Elon beat them once. Elon, they got the rebounding, free throw, and defensive advantage on this one. In the game where Elon lost, they only shot 19% from the 3, so I think they shoot a lot better from the 3. In the game they won, they scored over 50% of their field goals from the 2-point range. And I think in the game they lost, they only scored 35. So I think they get closer to that 50 mark, and they shoot over the 19% that they shot when they lost. And I think they can come in here and steal this win on the road against a William and Mary team that's not so good. This is one of them conferences where these bottom teams, they are all, although the record doesn't point, they're all kind of on the same playing field. And I think Elon, although their record is a little worse, is a little better right now. And I'm taking Elon as an underdog. I loved it. Now this kind of at a pick 'em. You know, if it's a play that's not for you because you got to lay a little juice with a team like this, I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, I'll tell you, you're a braver man than I am. I mean, I was having trouble. Like when you drop this one in, I was like, okay, I got to find something here. And like you said, these two teams both split the regular season meeting, so at least there's that. And the one edge you can kind of give to Elon is that they did go 0-2, but they've at least played on a neutral floor this season. While William and Mary, you take them out of their home court. They were 1-14 in true road games this season, so it definitely makes it hard to even feel comfortable laying any sort of juice or even laying any sort of points with the Tribe. So I could definitely see where you're coming from with the Phoenix in that one.
One more
reality is, what's that?
No, one more point I forgot to mention is their Saturday play. Elon is 10-1 on the season on Saturday. William Mary's only 1-4-1 ATS on Saturday. So I mean, anything can change on any given Saturday. But just going off the Saturdays, Elon team likes to pick it up on their weekend play. So.
Yeah, and you mentioned the Colonial. I mean, realistically, the team that wins this game is a buzzsaw. They're going up against Hofstra next. I know you probably follow the Colonial at least a little bit when you're looking at teams like this. Is there any front runner that you have in the Colonial? I mean, we talk about Hofstra, Towson, even Charleston, UNC Wilmington are at the top of the mountain there. Anyone that you see at the top ahead of anyone else?
The top 4 all got a chance to me. My favorite is UNC Wilmington, to be honest. And I like Charleston, number 1, but UNC Wilmington and Charleston. I like Townsend and Hofstra, but I like the way UNC Wilmington and Charleston is built and how they've been playing as of late. So,
all right. Now I know you got one other game for us.
Yes, sir. We're going to go to that game between Pittsburgh and Miami. It's about made the premium. Everything kind of points in short term for this one to go over, but I'm on the under in Pittsburgh and Miami. That's a 6:00 start time, and it was minus 154 the last time I checked it, 154.5, and heading in the down direction. The last time these guys played, it was a 71-68 affair, and I think it's going to be a closer affair around that one. They're both 8-2 in their last 10. Both of these teams don't want to lose. I know Miami's not really known for their defense, but they play more defense when they're at home. Pittsburgh is known for their defense, so I definitely expect them to bring defense. And I think this is just set about 6 or 7 points way too high, so I'm on the under in that one.
Yeah, the nice thing about these morning shows is that we can talk about these games, and sometimes we are going to have differing opinions. I won't lie to you. I did have the over in the video at Pick Dogs just because I see with Miami, and feel free to hit back at me on this. I see Miami, and I see their last few home games put up 84 in the loss to Florida State, 96 to Wake, 93 to Louisville, and then you look. I just have a hard time with it with a Pitt team. Like you said. They're great defensively. They don't just fluke into a 7-4 record on the road. But then I see they give up 88 points to Notre Dame, and probably Notre Dame's best game of the season. And I don't know, it's just hard for me. But I can see where you're coming from. 154.5 is really high, and especially when you look at the first meeting this season.
Yeah, and another stat that they kind of backed me up on this was Pitt. They play well against the ranked and better opponents. So the under is 8-1 for Pitt when they playing a team with a winning record. So I definitely like that. And just going back and look at their games when they play these tougher teams, they tend to keep the score a little lower. And when they play the bottom teams or teams that kind of match up with them, that's when the scoring gets a little out of hand and they play to the competition. So I like for them to play Miami real tough, and I don't see a lot of scoring to go over it, and maybe get close, but not over.
Fair enough. I can't argue with that. It's definitely a game that was one of the harder ones on the board, and that's why it didn't make the premium list for me. And I know Wayne, you said it barely missed out for you, but I figure there must probably been a reason for it. But anyways, speaking of Pick Dogs premium, what do you have over at the site today?
I got early game 3-pack, and I got one more 3-pack that I have in later that I'm putting in right in after this show. But 12 o'clock start time. Love 3 basketball games in there that I already got put in. One's at 1 and 2 over my at 12. So guys, go in there and pair me up one of these handicappers, and let's cash in today.
Absolutely, could have said it better myself. Wayne, thanks so much for popping on. Appreciate it. I'm assuming we'll probably see you tomorrow, or maybe I don't know. I shouldn't assume, but anyways, don't know if it's gonna be me or Mitch tomorrow, but hopefully we'll see you on.
All right, I'll be here. Take care, Chris. You have a good day.
Right. Take it easy, Wayne. You too. Good luck.
Yes, sir.
And that was Wayne Scott. Always love talking hoops with Wayne as well. I haven't had a chance to work too much with Wayne, but hopefully that's going to change in the very, very near future. Anyways, next we're going to bring in Jovan Burtz. Definitely want to talk about someone that's crushing the college hoops leaderboards right now. Jovan absolutely killing it right now. Jovan, how's it going?
Yeah, what's going on, Chris? How are you, man?
Dude, I'm still trying to get used to this host seat. I'm probably not going to have to for too long. I know Mitch won't like the butt groove I put in his seat, but either way, I'm not too concerned about it. But how are you doing today?
Oh man, just trying to put together another string of wins, man, for the day.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's and I was talking to Jay about it earlier. I'm sure you can attest this. When we were having those COVID days and we said, oh yeah, we'll take sports as it comes. Absolutely. But I mean, tell you, these 150 game college basketball Saturdays are like absolutely nuts.
Right. Today is only like 90 plus, you know what I'm saying? Not the 150 that it usually is, but hey, I'll take it.
But it feels like it's still 150, right? Like it never stops. And thankfully, over the next week, we won't have to deal with another 180 to 200 of these teams for the rest of the season. So
listen, I'm into all day action, man.
Yeah.
You know, one after the other. That's how I play it. You know, it's hard on a weekday when you want to just load up and fire off, and you're dealing with like games at 7 o'clock, then 9 o'clock, then the later portion of the schedule, all in that big grouping. It's better when it's from noon all the way through midnight.
Yeah, 100%. So, are there any conference tournaments you're looking forward to this week? I know I'm putting you on the spot a little bit, but
nothing in particular, because I'm tuning in to all of it.
Fair enough. That's probably the perfect answer to help shut me up. But anyways, we're going to look at a couple of the games that you got on the board today. What's the first one you got for us?
Yeah, we're gonna go to the Big Ten where Ohio State, they're facing they're facing Sparty, and we saw what happened in the last game against these, with these two teams. Michigan State winning to Columbus and just put foot to ass, but that was when Ohio State they was selling the ass every single game, just losing and losing and losing. Well, they're on a 2-game winning streak right now. You know what I'm saying? So I think they're not as bad as what that losing streak told people, and when people were just auto fading them. I was auto fading them as well, but I think in this one, since they got their 2 wins against Illinois and Maryland, I think I'm gonna roll with them on the third game, against Sparty. Now, the Spartans, Michigan State, they're a good team. Tom Izzo, he always has these guys up to play, but in a lot of these games, they play in tight games. 1-2 possessions at most, and the way the spread is right now at 6.5, 7. I think we'll play for Ohio State to cover this one. If not, maybe possibly get the win. I don't know what got them into the winning groove these last 2 games, but they were against better teams in the Big Ten, and I think in this one, with the inconsistency that MSU has, I think that Ohio State, if they're playing the type of ball they've been playing in the last 2 games, I think they get it done for the cover.
Yeah, I'll tell you, you're a braver man than I am for backing the Buckeyes here. I mean, I've been burned. I was burned by Ohio State a couple times, then I kind of said enough was enough, and I kind of rode the Ohio State fade train. And I will ask you this, and this is just at least what I've noticed, and I kind of want to get your thoughts on, is that I find that with the Big Ten, I think home court is sort of weighted. Home court, I think, matters the most out of almost any conference in the country in the Big Ten. I mean, you see home teams pretty much dominant at home, especially against the spread. You're all concerned that those wins for Ohio State came at home, and now they got to go back out on the road. I know Michigan State hasn't necessarily been lighting teams on fire on their home floor, but does that concern you at all?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a concern, but at the same time, with Michigan State will let a few teams, lesser teams at that, slip through and threaten them for a victory. So that kind of offsets that.
Fair enough. I can't argue with you on that one. I was kind of looking at the under in that game too. I think 139.5 just seems too high for a game that's probably first to 65 wins.
Yeah, what the first game was, 60-41?
62-41, yeah.
62-41. So hey, that's another play. The under definitely should be in play in that one. I would say mid to high 60s. Unless it with these games, when you have 2 teams facing each other on the second go around, a lot of times the script flips right on its head, and the opposite happens. So you never know. But I would lean under in this one.
Yeah, there's that sense of familiarity, and I got burned with the under in Michigan and Illinois because they ended up going to overtime. They didn't go to overtime. We had that under all the way, but again, like you said, it's when you have that familiarity and you play a team a second time, you kind of know the tendencies, and you probably breeds to a closer game. But anyways, that was your first play. I think you got a second play for us as well.
Yeah, we're gonna go to Conference USA, where FAU, they've been running teams over. They're playing Louisiana Tech. And last game, what did FAU do in a spot where they were built to not cover, and some people were saying they were gonna lose. Yeah, they got a 28-point victory. What was it, 103-75 against Rice? But I think in this one they kind of come back down to earth, given the spread, given the fact that they're on the road facing Louisiana Tech team who they're hit or miss, but I just think that in this one, given the fact they're at home, with a sizable point spread, I think that and the fact that I believe FAU put quick work of them, put in good work on them in the first matchup. That I think that Louisiana Tech comes in this one, ready to play. I believe it's senior night in this one for them. So, given all those facts, I'm gonna roll with the home dog here.
Yeah, I mean, I can't blame you, at least for giving that a look. I mean, FAU, they like you said, they did put boots to asses against Rice. I mean, they were up early. They ran away and hit at halftime. I think it was 57-28 or something like that at the half. And there was no answer for Rice in that game. And Louisiana Tech, at least their decent performances are coming at home. They battled North Texas hard. They battled Charlotte hard. got the win last time out against FIU. And like you said, this is another thing I want to ask. I didn't get to ask anybody this, so you brought it up. Maybe I'll bring it up here. How much of a factor do you consider senior day to be in college hoops? Because I know a lot of the comments on some of the videos that, we've been doing, all of us, your parlay video, my game videos, people say, oh, senior day doesn't matter. It shouldn't be a factor in your capping. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, I mean, you've seen it over this past week. For the most part, it's not going to happen in every game. That's just a point of fact. But you have to weigh that into consideration, and when we're doing what we do. It's not just, you'll see teams that have no business being in games, actually being in games, and not only that, winning these games. Now if you don't want to handicap it in your handicapping, fine. But you're gonna lose some games and you're gonna scratch your head and say, damn, how did that happen? Well, you know how it happened, because a star of a team or a rotational player goes out of his mind and drops 30, 35 points, can't miss, and now you're on the short end of the stick. So you have to, especially in with teams that aren't so good, below 500 teams, because these are the schools, or these are the teams where they're not going to play any more basketball in life, as far as professionally. So they're going to give it their all. So for me, I take them on the case-by-case basis, but I kind of, in a way, I kind of use it as a blanket. It's like I blanket handicap games when I know it's a senior day, because I know that the teams at least are going to be up for the game, playing on their home floor. Last time, for the seniors, and it's gonna, and with these college environments, it's always gonna be a lit atmosphere. So, sometimes that fan factor, it brings the team home to the finish line.
Yeah, I think I said that to somebody else, during one of the comments. I said, just be completely ignorant, to just ignore the fact that, to basically play it off that senior day doesn't exist. Because look what happened with Notre Dame, right? This is a Notre Dame team that made the tournament last year, been one of the biggest power conference disappointments, I would say, this year. Not the biggest, but one of the biggest. And then put up 88 points on a team that was 7-4 or 7-3 on the road in Pitt, and absolutely just put the boots to Pitt in that game when you wouldn't necessarily have seen it coming. So,
yeah, absolutely. They have a lot of seniors on that squad. Disappointing season, but last game of the season with a lot of guys that won't be there next year. Yeah, they're gonna give it their all, and that's just a good example of how these things go.
Yeah, 100%. But anyways, Jovan, what do you got going on at Pick Dogs Premium today?
Yeah, I'm gonna have my obligatory 12 games on the college basketball Saturday. But for right now, I just got a 3-pack going early action. So momentarily I'll have a later 3-pack and another 5-pack or whatever. So wet your whistle with this 3-pack right now.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Jovan, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. Keep crushing it on the leaderboards, and we'll be seeing you tomorrow.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, cool.
I'll be here.
All right, sounds good. Appreciate you coming on, and we'll see you tomorrow. Like I said, keep crushing it.
Yeah, absolutely. Just trying to get it together. Last 9 college basketball plays, 9-0.
Yeah, there you go. So you can't fault you on that. So,
Right.
Anyways, thanks, Jovan. Appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
All right, got Jovan Burtz. Like I said, absolutely crushing it on the leaderboards. You look on any leaderboard, well, except for hockey, you can pretty much find Jovan on there, at least doing some sort of great work. And next we'll bring in my fellow puck dog. We'll bring on Rod Zawacki. And Rod, how's it going?
It's going good. Great day. Excited so much of sports action today. Let's get some money. I'm excited for today's action. Hockey. We got a loaded hockey card. We got loaded college hoops card. Love it. Love this time of year. Let's get some money for these folks.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. We'll start. Got 2 plays for us. What's your first one for today?
First one, we're going to go to the West Coast Conference tournament game here between BYU and LMU. Both these teams, the season series between these two, they split the season series between these two. LMU winning the first game of the season in January, and then BYU bouncing back and getting the revenge at both teams winning on their home floor. And you look at this one, BYU played yesterday, ran up over Portland. He got a nice easy win, and you look at LMU sitting here waiting, rest advantage for LMU in this one. Neutral court this season, LMU is 3-1, while BYU is 4-3 on a neutral court. And we're going to get more than a single possession with LMU in this one, getting plus 4.5. I see in 5s in some spots, and I think they're definitely disrespecting the Lions in this one. As you look at the Lions, 5-1 ATS their last 6 following a straight up win. BYU, both offenses averaging 75 points a game. So I think this comes down to who's got the ball last. So I'm going to take the Lions plus the points, as a little rest doesn't equal rust. Maybe the first half, but I think they get rolling the second half, and they might got a good shot to outright BYU. This is not the same BYU team we've seen over the last few seasons, and I think they can be had here. Give me LMU plus the points.
Yeah, that was a tricky one for me. I was leaning towards LMU as well, just because I've had a hard time backing BYU pretty much all season long, and it almost felt like they kind of backed into the conference tournament. But I think the angle that I think a lot of people are going to take is you just see the head-to-head dominance between BYU and Loyola Marymount over past seasons. But you got to remember, it's still Loyola Marymount team that beat Gonzaga on the I believe it was on the road earlier this season, and I don't know. Yeah, BYU, you can beat Portland, but now you got to do it against a team that's actually got a pulse. So we'll have to see.
Exactly right. It's and this Lions team, I think they've been ready and watching, and they watched that game against Portland and made a nice game plan for it. So getting more than a possession with the Lions here in this one, a game that I think comes down to who's got the ball last. So take the Lions plus the points in that one.
Yeah, I'm with you. I could easily see a 2-point game or even a 3-point game in that one. A couple of these games in the past have been close, so yeah, definitely, especially in conference tournament play. But as you got a second play on the board for us as well, what do you got?
Yeah, we're gonna head to a hockey game here that I think is going to be another lopsided one. In this one, you look, Ottawa has been rolling right along. They got a nice 4-game winning streak, and in those 4 games, they've scored 22 goals over those 4 wins. And you look, Columbus here on the back-to-back, and Columbus on the back-to-back, 8-24 the last 32 off of 0 days rest. Tough spot here for Columbus having to come into Ottawa and try to snag a win. And you look, who's going to start? Well, it's good old buddy Michael Hutchinson going to get the start here for Columbus. Columbus just picked him up from Vegas. He has yet to play an NHL game this season. In the AHL, he's played 7 games. He's got 274 goals against average and an 897 save percentage. We've seen him in the NHL before. He's 55 and 55 with a 279 goals against average and a 905 save percentage in his few games that he's played in the NHL so far. Tough spot for him to step in here against my good old buddy Talbot. Cam Talbot coming back off the injury. He's been playing lights out hockey for this Ottawa team. We're going to take the Ottawa Senators to beat Columbus. Take them on the puck line. I think you have no problem here. The earlier meeting was 4-0 for Ottawa. Looking for a similar type result here. Take Ottawa on the puck line.
That's fine. Rod won't say it. I will. I think Michael Hutchinson's an absolute sieve. I think he's going to be this guy couldn't cut it for the Leafs. Anytime you saw him in goal for the Leafs, I'll tell you, when we were doing our hockey videos, Michael Hutchinson was playing, and even if we gave out a premium on the Leafs and Hutchinson was playing, we didn't know that he was playing until they announced it like half an hour before puck drop. We immediately chalked it up as a loss and we moved on because this guy's absolutely terrible. And he's barely cutting it in the AHL this season as well. He's 1-5-1. Goals against average of 277, but still, just I said can't give his team put his team in the best possible spot to win. And it was either going to be Merzlikins on a back-to-back, which is something that you don't want. You don't want to burn out your number one goalie, but I don't know. Maybe they should have if the Columbus Blue Jackets are trying to play for ping pong balls at this point.
You never know. They might. Hutchinson might be a sieve and give out 5 in the first period, and they pull him. Little bonus play for you guys. I like Claude Giroux to get an anytime goal for this Ottawa Senators team. He scored 3 goals, 3 goals out of the last 5. He's got a goal in each one of those. So little bonus play for you. Take Claude Giroux to get an anytime goal.
I can't fault you for that one either. Like I said, I think probably Hutchinson's probably good to give up 4, 5, 6. today? I don't
6.
even know.
Yeah, right. Do
I mean, the
7.
I mean, the Sens are playing some of their best hockey I think they played all season over the last week, and I think they got to take advantage of it if they're going to try to chip away at the in the playoff picture in the East. I mean, let me just see if I can quickly, before I let you go, just quickly pull it up here. I mean, the wild card you got. Let me see here. You got Pittsburgh and the Islanders. Islanders sitting on 70 points, and Ottawa 4 points back at 66. So, I mean, you got who else is there? The Buffalo Sabres are there at 66. Florida's at 66. Detroit's at 65. Washington's at 66. So there's a ton of teams in that logjam. The last couple month and a half of the regular season in the NHL is going to be pretty good to watch, especially in the Eastern Conference.
And definitely Ottawa's made some moves at the trade deadline, picked up a few pieces. Chicherin's from Arizona, a nice defensive piece there for this Ottawa team as well. So I like this Ottawa team. Watch out, might get another Canadian team in the playoffs.
100%. So, what do you got going on at Pick Dogs Premium today?
And over at Pick Dogs Premium, I've been rolling right along in college hoops. I got a nice college basketball Super Saturday 5-pack. I got a nice 15-6-1 run in college hoops. There, so scoop that up, get a nice 5-pack going. I got my $15 NHL sniper play going in the NHL, my top rated play there. We crushed it yesterday with the Oilers. You can scoop that up, or I've got my NBA drop a dime play, or we're in on a nice 28-18 run in the NBA, my last 46 there. So scoop that up. Better yet, grab something long term. Grab a 3-day, grab a 7-day, grab a 30-day, or take advantage of that 2-for-1 capper deal where you can't go wrong with 2 heads are always better than 1. So use that 2-for-1 capper deal. Use the promo code PICK. Save 50% off at checkout. Head on over to Pick Dogs Premium and let's continue to make some money.
Absolutely, couldn't have said it better myself. Anyways, Rod, thank you for coming on. I'm sure we'll see you tomorrow. I mean, you and I are the furniture here basically, so I'm pretty sure. I'm thinking Mitch will be back.
Butt groove. I think Mitch is worried about. He's not worried about the power play anymore. He's worried about his butt groove. I can see him worrying.
Don't tell him the butt groove's already. Don't tell him the butt groove's already gone. I just haven't told him that yet.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, you know what's going to happen? He's going to sink, and it's going to be like a swing in the park where it just kind of dips underneath and it form fits to him.
Yeah.
He's going to be sunk in there for days.
Nice.
Anyways, Rod, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. And we'll see you tomorrow. We'll have our Puck Dogs videos up very shortly. And like I said, great college day today, great NHL day today. I think
definitely go check out today's Puck Dogs videos. Love today's Puck Dogs parlay. So definitely go check it out. Thanks everybody. 100%. Smash that like button. Costs you nothing. Helps out a ton. Good luck, Chris, with all your bets today. Good luck with everybody with all your bets today. Let's pound the books today.
Good luck, Rod. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. Rod Zawacki, my Puck Dog. We've been together basically since day one. And tell you, we had the good days and the bad days, but still absolutely crushing it in the NHL this season. And got to check in the green room. Got Big Al McMorty here. Let me see. We're going to bring on Big Al. Let me just get him lined up here. Al, how's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing all right, but you probably didn't expect to see me in the host seat this morning. But
I didn't. But I love talking with you. We haven't talked, for a while. So
not as much as we. I know I miss you too. Not as much as we should. Not as much as we used to for sure. But again, we'll change. That's one of those things where it's you get in the moment, you realize, and then you're like, yeah, wait a minute, now we have to keep in touch again. But yeah, no, it's good to see you though. How are you doing with your Spurs? Give me an update here. You're hoping that you can break for Vic or what?
We're pretty well locked into the most lottery balls or whatever you want to call it. We're in the bottom 3, and I don't think that Charlotte can catch us. So I think the Spurs are safe. They should be able. It looks like they're pretty safe with Houston and Detroit for the most lottery combinations.
I'll tell you, whenever I see Wembanyama, I keep picturing him in a Spurs uniform for you. So I'm trying to manifest.
I'll take him. I'll take Scoot Henderson. But I think they only have about a 25% chance. Those 3 teams will have about a 25% chance of getting one of the top 2 picks. So it's still a long shot to get Henderson or Wembanyama, but you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, 100%. That's the truth in today's NBA. But anyways, I know you got a couple plays for us today. What do you have first?
I'm gonna, it's the final weekend of the regular season for the power conferences. I'm gonna take a look at two plays that are sort of cut from the same cloth with the idea that we should be able to get at least one, if not both of these plays. I'd be surprised if they both lose. And one of the things I like to do, Chris, when we're doing the last home games of these teams is I try to play on teams that are undefeated at home going into their last home game. And then also, use different filters to isolate the best ones. And there's two games today that feature undefeated teams at home this season playing their last home game. And that's that also fall into some other stuff I like. And that's UCLA and the Nevada Arena Wolfpack. So UCLA is 16-0 at home. They're playing Arizona. It's a revenge game for UCLA. Likewise, Nevada is 14-0 at home, and they're also playing a revenge match against UNLV, which defeated it earlier in the season. If there was a difference between the two plays, it's just that Nevada's off a loss in their last game. They're off an upset loss, whereas UCLA is on a 9-game win streak. So, if I had to pick between the two, I think Nevada's a stronger play because they are off a loss. But I think folks can play both of them, and they'll get at least one, if not both.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I liked both of those. Those are two plays I loved for the videos yesterday. I'm with you. I liked UCLA. I just trust their guard play more than I trust Arizona's right now. And I don't know, even though they've got the top seed and the regular season title locked up in the Pac-12, Mick Cronin just seems like the kind of coach that kind of wants to get his guys firing on all cylinders entering the conference tournament. And Nevada, I like just because, I don't know, UNLV just sort of fell off the map for me. I think they entered conference play, I believe it was 11-0, and have just, like I said, just taken a nosedive. And
yeah, they were destroyed in their last game, which also tempers it a little bit for me. If UNLV didn't get blown out the other night, I might have made Nevada a premium selection. But as it is, for complimentary selections, these are decent plays, Nevada and UCLA.
Yeah, and one thing I was going to ask you, because I know you have fantastic tenure, with college hoops and just sports in general. How do you factor senior day into a lot of these late season college hoops games? Like, do you think it holds a ton of merit? Or
I think it does in certain situations. As I mentioned, if you're an undefeated team, I always say, like, if you're not good at home, then do I care that you're playing your last game at home?
Fair enough.
But if you've got a strong home court, if you've won, for example, at least 32 of your previous 40 home games, or if you're undefeated at home on the season. So there are certain things I look for in the final home games. I'm always looking for motivation. I mean, all these teams are going to be motivated, but I'm looking for just extra motivation. And, so I think it can matter, but I think it's overblown if you're taking a, middle of the rung team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sort of with you on that. I think it's just got to be taken on a case-by-case basis. I know some people treat it as if it doesn't exist, and some people treat it like it's the be-all, end-all when you get to this point of the season. But
yeah, I'm sort of in the middle.
Yeah, I think you have to be. I think it doesn't apply to everything. I mean, are you going to take Hartford in their season in their senior day at home if they're hosting Ohio State? Probably not, right?
Yeah.
So.
No, I mean, it's if the team is 7-7 at home, do I really care that they're playing their last home game? They haven't shown a propensity the entire season to do well at home, so I'm not going to think they're going to necessarily step it up in their last home game in that situation.
Oh, fair enough. I can't fault you for that. But what do you have going on over at Pick Dogs Premium today?
I've got 17 plays. I've got my SEC game of the month and my Big 12 game of the month. And those two plays highlight a 13-play college basketball card. I've got 2 plays in hockey, 2 plays in the NBA, 17 plays in all.
Said you're always at the top of the leaderboards. I tell you, if you go with Al's long-term pass, it's definitely one of the best values you can do. I mean, I said the results speak for themselves, and I tell you, I always love listening to the trends that you find with with your database. Whenever I see on, and I know it's just one of those things that I watch it. I'm kind of just in awe just whenever you and Mitch are talking about it. So I'll tell you, it's definitely something to look up to for sure.
Yeah. So are you going to Vegas this March?
I want to, but unfortunately, everything was so bloody expensive. The flights weren't bad, but it was the accommodations were just astronomical. Even if I wanted to go sort of in the late for the Sweet 16, Elite 8, it was still a little bit. So I could have. Yeah. Hey, there's still time for me to make a last minute decision. But how about you? Going to make the trip out there at all?
I don't know. I may, I may not. It's it's difficult this time of year with all the work we have to do. But I've had a lot of friends ask me if I'm going, so I don't know yet.
I'll tell you, one of these days, you and I are going to go and just spend a weekend in Vegas, just hangover style.
I'd rather come up to Toronto and go to a Maple Leafs game with you. That's what I'd rather.
I will tell you, come on up. I'll get
maybe
the tickets.
maybe for the Stanley Cup this year, we'll go to a Maple Leafs game, and then we can complain about the ticket prices for that.
We said that last year. I'm just waiting. I tell you, as long as we can get out of the first round, and as far as the ticket prices go, I'll tell you, anybody who's Canadian will know our sponsor Scotiabank, and their motto, "You're richer than you think." Well, if you can go to a game at Scotiabank Arena, you're richer than you think. That's what we keep telling everybody. I mean, it's astronomical. $31 for 2 beers. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I know. But this could. I mean, Boston's of course, the best team, but you never know. It's hockey, so Toronto might surprise some people.
I am terrified because we can never get out of the first round with that, or at least, well, I shouldn't say we can never get out of the first round, but we can never avoid Boston or Tampa Bay in the first round. Never fails. And I'm surprised we even managed to do it in the COVID year when it was in the bubble.
Yeah.
But anyways, Al.
Good luck, Chris.
I appreciate it. Thanks for coming on. I know you had a long night with the college hoops, so get some rest, and we'll eventually see. We'll
are you back here tomorrow, or is Mitch back in?
It might be Mitch. Mitch and I still have to hammer that out, but either way, I'll be here, even if I'm just a guest. But yeah, I'm still have to hammer that out with him, but I'll let everybody know.
Yeah, does he have family in town, or what's going on?
He just got some stuff to take care of. I think he had to travel for something last minute. So
okay.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Well, I'll be back. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right. Sounds good. I'll take it easy. Appreciate it.
Adios. Bye.
Al McMorty, I'll tell you, said someone I look up to in this industry just with how much work he puts in. And I'll tell you, when we were first talking about the long nights for college basketball Saturday cards, didn't necessarily think too much of it. But I'll tell you, this season I think I've gone through it just as much, just from doing all the writing at Sports Chat Place and doing all these videos and brushing up on everything. And I'll tell you, it is a grind, and we're finally at that point in the season where we can maybe start to take a deep breath and take it, a little bit easier, and sort of just look forward. Now I won't say look forward to baseball season, because once we get into that slow portion in June, July, we're kind of like, okay, can we bring on college football? But again, we've got March Madness around the corner. It's still going to be crazy for about another month. But anyways, I got a couple plays for you guys as well. I wasn't just going to let myself off the hook easily. I'm just going to bring in a couple of quick plays here. My first play is I'm going to go to the America East. I'm going to go with Maine plus the points against UMass Lowell. This is a Maine team that I don't envision being a pushover for the Riverhawks. I mean, yeah, UMass Lowell right behind Vermont as I would say the second best team in the America East, and UMass Lowell seemingly coming out of nowhere. They had one of their best seasons in program history, but you look at the two meetings this season between Maine and UMass Lowell, and they were decided by a combined 7 points, with these two teams splitting each of the meetings. And Maine just has, a solid defense that forces a lot of turnovers, and that was a big reason as to why UMass Lowell couldn't pull away in either of those games. I think it's going to be a same sort of frenetic pace. I think Maine's going to put a lot of pressure on the Riverhawks here. I wouldn't be surprised if Maine potentially sprung the upset here. But I think at the absolute worst, I think it's a similar number to what we've seen, in the first two meetings of the season, where one, like I said, one was decided by 5 points and one was decided by a single bucket. So I'll take the other points with Maine in that one. And the other play I'm going to give you guys, I like Arizona State plus the 4.5. USC, they've been solid at home all year long, and this is senior day for USC. But I feel that USC is a little bit top heavy, with guys like Boogie Ellis and Drew Peterson leading the charge. They tend to rely on those guys more often than they rely on anybody else. And this is an Arizona team that's got a lot of balance, but they're also a very up and down team that needs a big win here. we saw, Arizona State, they went into that game against rival Arizona, on the outside looking into the tournament field. They hit that buzzer beater. They hit that full court shot. They went from being out of the field entirely, not even in like the next 4 out, going from that to be one of the last 4 teams in, and they lose their last game to UCLA, and now they're back out on the outside looking in as one of the first 4 out. So I think you get a concerted effort here from Arizona State. I think USC, I think they're going to put their best foot forward on senior day, but I think that Arizona State has a good shot at winning this one outright if they put forth a focused effort. So I would take Arizona State plus the 4.5 in that one. And for me, guys, say Pick Dogs Premium. And I got my $15 college hoop slam dunk. Love that place. That's one of my favorite plays the week, month, maybe even the entire college basketball season. A couple of 3-packs up for college hoops and a 3-pack in the NHL. But a couple of guys mentioned it earlier. Best time to go long term is right now because 3-day and 7-day are going to get you loaded college hoops cards the rest of the week with conference tournament action, NBA and NHL as well. The 30-day pass gets you into baseball season as well. It's pretty much, I believe, almost the full March Madness tournament. So definitely check that out over at Pick Dogs Premium. And just I noticed a couple of comments here. No, I don't have an edge on the Alabama game. Alabama, Texas A&M going off at the top of the hour. I was thinking I was initially leaning towards Texas A&M, but that's sort of where I would leave it at that one. And I got a comment here at the end. Can we get a parlay? You know what? I'll put this together. I'll go with let's go with combine myself and Rod. We'll go with the Senators on the puck line, and then my 2 plays: Arizona State plus the 4.5 and Maine plus the 10.5. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to thank all the handicappers for coming on, making my life a whole lot easier today. Having somebody to talk to. This was not the easiest thing in the world for me. Even though I do this every morning, sitting in the host chair is a little bit terrifying today. So, and definitely, I see, one more comment here. Henry, we have an NHL parlay video up on the channel at Pick Dogs. Rod and I put out a parlay video yesterday, and it's one I think that both of us really love. So go over and check that out. And guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up, hit that like button. It doesn't cost you a cent, like Rod mentioned earlier. It helps us out a ton, lets us know that you guys like what we're doing, and helps us put out more fresh content. Got a couple new things in the works, and I think you guys are gonna love it. So smash that like button, and like I said, it'll help us out a ton. And guys, make sure you're subscribed. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Let's cash some winners.